Hello people of YouTube. I'm still trying to set my studio up. Mind the cord, the camera's plugged in above me. Kinda still charging, but I thought I'll turn the camera on and record setting up and unpacking some of the models because I haven't had a chance to do that, and I frequently get asked for reviews or somebody to go over my collection, that kind of thing, and I haven't done that in quite a while, and what better time to do that than when I'm putting it all back on the shelf. So being a little bit quiet. It's Christmas Day, so Merry Christmas to everyone and Happy Holidays or Happy Yule or Hanukkah or whatever. I hope everyone's having a happy time right now, getting some relaxation in from the stress of life. But I'm being quiet because above me in the living room is family and friends just kind of chilling out after filling their tummies, me included. I'm chilling out by putting my models together, so yeah, let me grab a box over here. And when I grab the box, I have a handy dandy cart, which is off camera, but you have models, you have 3 metal model buildings, and a Dell box that I borrowed from work. Stuff with paper. We have basic architectural, like the Eiffel Tower, and that looks like the Iconics and the regular Eiffel Tower. First bought the Eiffel Tower. It was something that happened in France. I can't remember what, some sort of something. And I bought this and made a video, and I can't remember what it was, but I made a video and I made some sort of special dedication. Looks like this Eiffel Tower suffered some damage. This is a far more recent build. Just kind of try and bend that back into place. Who the heck knows what happened there? But let's go put this up somewhere. I think all the buildings were up top. That's where they're going to go for now. I believe that's the Seattle building. I stand to dust these off, but I don't know where my duster is. Is that the Chrysler building? No, Empire State. That is the Empire State building. Is this the CN Tower? Or CN Tower? Hard to remember. Also Empire State. Fans turning on. Regular Empire State. The last one was the Iconics. The regular Big Ben. That's the Chrysler building. See, I get them mixed up. Maybe that was the Chrysler. That's the Empire State. I need to move my lighting a little bit. I've got 2 of these because I think I messed up the video and had to build it again. It's one of the simplest models you can buy. I think it's like 3 or 4 pieces. Very simple. The what are these called? One World Trade Center. This is probably the simplest one you can get because I think it is 4 pieces. A ring around the bottom, the base, the center part, and a top. 4 pieces. Lincoln Memorial. Excuse me. Washington Monument. Excuse me. Not the Lincoln Memorial. Washington Monument. 1 box. So I don't know how loud the heater is on camera, because this is my first time filming here. But I am again in the basement because it's out of the way and lots of room and overhead lighting is easy to achieve. This fan heater is so much quieter than anywhere I've ever lived before, and I've had a basement studio through 3 different houses, and I can actually carry on a conversation with people without really much raising my voice. The heater's just a few feet over there. It's not that bad. More models. More architecture. I believe this was on the upper shelf. I have some old pictures on my phone so I can get somewhat close to the way I have it. Somewhat. Kinkaku G maybe? Can't quite remember. I really need to find my duster. Found one. So unfortunately for me, and I don't know why, my computer, even though I've set up the network again, doesn't want to connect to the internet. You know, the one that I use for editing and uploading my videos doesn't want to connect to the internet. I had this problem yesterday and I fixed it and I went to bed and I was doing the exact same thing. It just doesn't want to connect. I don't know how I'm going to upload this video when I get done. That's just fantastic. One of the worst problems with making videos is the constant computer and internet problems. They just never stop. And I never can. I spend so much time, I'll waste so much time just trying to fix my computer. And I hate dusting these things because it sticks to the towels more than it dusts. Another, I think, Osaka castle? One of the castles in Japan. We have the Sydney Opera House. Just don't know where my brush is. It does a slightly better job because it doesn't get caught. It doesn't dust as well as this wood on a flat surface, but it doesn't get caught on things. So, yeah. Cozy. Egg. I'm really not that good with names. Like, I know what this is. The names get mixed up in my head. This is the Capitol building in the United States. You know, the one that about a year ago a bunch of people tried to raid because they disagreed with politics. I'm not going to say that raiding the Capitol was altogether a bad idea. They just did it for very much the wrong reasons. There were better reasons. Another fantastic castle. Neuschwanstein, something like that. Another box empty. A couple of plastic risers. Ooh, 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 ooh. They fit nicely in the back to raise up the models in the back so you can have more than one on the same shelf and still see them. I'm slowly printing them over time with my 3D printer. I could still use more, and I have a lot. Ooh. This is something that needed a big plastic. Oh, insects and a bike. We have the Halo Guardian. I'm afraid to dust, honestly, because it's such a delicate seeming model. It is very dusty though. It's also very delicate and doesn't always stand on its own. It has to be bent. And I have a magnetic base for it. There we are. It's one that I made out of wood stained. Didn't turn out great. It was a first try. But there's magnets buried in there and there's little holes drilled in the top board because it's actually a board on top of a board and the edges are routed, and I tried to sand it and stain it, and this part wouldn't stain. I don't know, but it's actually, you know, a wood board with plywood on top, so not the best combination. But yeah, there's the Wibbly Wobbly Guardian. You may have barely seen me put some bugs back there. We have the Iconics bike. We have the penny farthing right here with its odd little base. Does that even show up on camera? There we go. Penny farthing. The Iconics bicycle. That was an interesting build. We have the Voyager, which has a bit of dust on it. Maybe I should air up my compressor and blow some of this stuff off. you should get another Voyager. Trim some of the, not put all the extra pieces on, put it on a collage with a raised platform and some Star Trek characters. If you know, you know. So I started this on Christmas Day, and here it is New Year, and my voice is very deep today, I don't know why. But still trying to set this stuff up. Happy New Year to everybody and Merry Christmas. A little bit late. I'm hoping to get this video out later tonight, but I just figured I'd do a little bit of a setup and talk about my models, because there's been a number of people over the past couple of years wanting me to go over my collection. It's a big collection and it's a lot to do. I figured I could do it slowly as I set it back up and get some sort of content out there while setting up my studio, because part of the reason it's not set up is I have boxes of my stuff, of my models that I need to clear out to make room. I'm still kind of trying to figure it out, because the dimensions are interesting. But anyway, let me unpack some more stuff. Getting on to bigger things, I think. Have I already opened this? I guess I didn't use this box. I've had this box for a while, and I think it's one that I use to sometimes travel with my models if I'm taking them somewhere, the bigger models, but I didn't use it. It's just empty. Oh. One of the helicopters right now, cannot remember the name. Chinook maybe? Seems like the blade's got a little bent there. What's the Chinook? Could be wrong. Oh, that's nice. The issue with dusting a lot of these models. It's never really been feasible for me to build a enclosed area to keep the models. It's just an expensive thing to do, and being a renter, difficult thing to move. A lot of times I just went with little things I could afford for storage. I would like to change that at some point, but who knows. I don't know where my little dusting brush is right now. It works a little bit better without snagging and bending models like that one just did. Butterfly. Very dusty butterfly. I was doing classes using butterflies at my local library before the pandemic happened, and now I'm immunocompromised and I'm not doing that sort of thing. It's too much of a risk for me. The dragon that I got is a different kind of metal model. It's just thicker pieces. You don't really cut them out, you just kind of screw them together. I got this looking forward to trying something new, and it showed up already assembled, and I'm like, what the hell? I thought I was buying a model kit to build. And we have the spare head for the C-3PO kit in case you wanted to do it with the battle droid head, which I never did. But I did build the head for the video. And then another layer, we have the merry-go-round. We have, oh, is that the Warthog? Warthog plane? I have to dust these off a bit. We have the Moby Dick or Old Man of the Sea. I can't remember. Does it say? I only have one of them, one of the book sculptures. Can't remember which one it is now. Oh, what is this thing called? Airship, which I built slightly incorrectly. And one of those god-awful guns that were a pain in the ass to build. I'm not a gun aficionado, so I can't remember the name of it. It's obviously a rifle. Oh yeah, AK-47, there it is, right on the side. And I need to dust that off. Got those mostly dusted and on the shelf. Another Starlight container. We have some of our space stuff. We have the Luna Rover, I believe it is. That was an interesting build. Hubble telescope. I think my lights are being quite right here. Move the light, hopefully that'll help a little bit. We have the Mars rover. A Scorpion. Like, it's like mechanical scorpions. If you look at them, they're like not nature, but there's like little bolts holding them together. It looks like. I didn't realize that when I first started to build it. And we have the Dragonfly, and that is a Halo gun that I cannot remember the name of right now. And its little stand that it likes to fall off of. And the way I packed these, there were kind of layers. So underneath there's more planes. We have the Cessna boatplane. What a pain in the butt the pontoons were on this thing. Not the pontoon so much as the structure holding it on. It's kind of broken. Oh, I can't remember what this one is. I cannot remember. An American. Can't remember. There, I've got that one. I'm not particularly good at recalling names. This was a kind of a more recent plane build. That one was colorful and fun. I can't remember the name of it. I think they later released a larger version of it. You know, I haven't been keeping up with the news, doing the news, and what models are coming out, but I looked on Metal Earth's site and it didn't look like a whole lot had changed in my absence. Though it feels like I've been gone forever. Here's a stand. I think we have some bigger stuff in here. Oh yeah, I think this is a one model type container. One of the last ones I built before buying the house. Pardon the washing machine going in the background. I'm busy. Busy man. Trying to do laundry. We have the International Space Station. This was a long, interesting build and difficult to hold, but I had fun with it. Had fun taking pictures of it. I wanted to take a really interesting picture, and I don't know if I told this story or not, but in short, I went to the store, found a cheap mirror, took the frame off of it with a whole like hot glued on. It was a cheap mirror, and used the mirror part to put under my desk of my computer screen, and found a video of like Earth from space, and I put this on the mirror and got kind of a close-up picture of it, so it looked kind of like it was orbiting the Earth in space. And it was a really interesting video, and you could kind of tell, I'm sure you could tell if you looked hard enough at what it was sitting on the mirror, but it made a nice illusion. You know, I'm looking forward to having my collection out again and having it set up. Not actually looking forward to setting it up again. That is going to be a long process, and I swear it gets longer every time because the models increase. And when I was packing this up, when I had bought this house and packing it up and was getting ready to move, I kind of realized I was outgrowing this space, and I had a shelf off to the side that you couldn't really see that had some models on it. And I'm like, I'm going to have to rethink this. And I bought a house and never did. So I still am in the position I'm going to have to rethink this, and I think what's probably going to happen, because I can't really increase this very much, is getting some sort of space on the side where I move some models out. I'm not going to be able to show everything that I built behind me. Honestly, you can't see everything behind me as it is. It's to get all of this that was out here from top, which you can barely see right now, to bottom, in frame. The camera would have to be pretty far back, and I'd be pretty far away from it. Plus, you still wouldn't be able to see what's behind me. So, you know, it was a backdrop thing. I've seen a lot of YouTubers do fun backdrops, and I figured rather than doing green screen and fake backdrops, which is what I did for a while to try and give it an interesting backdrop. The areas that I was showing were areas that I couldn't really film in with any sort of ease. And then I started doing this, and it's just grown bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's to the point now where I'm just going to have to pick and choose some of the models that go on there. But that's fine. Still figuring out how the studio is going to get set up, because the space there's more space, but some of its structure is limited. Anyway, more stuff to put away. Don't know if I ever filmed that, but it's a lot of the figures basically separated by index cards, because you know, in every pack you eventually reach a point where it's like, get the shit in there. So we have War Machine, Iron Man, we have a Knight Armor, I should say, C-3PO, and R2-D2 in the collector box set. We have more armor. We have horse armor. We have ships. We have, which one is this? Is this the Black Pearl? I think that's the Black Pearl. Queen Anne's Revenge, or something like that. We have the church, old church house. Grew up in the country, so I've seen these in real life. I know that's not an amazing thing at all. Oh. We have the golden Snitch from Harry Potter. We have the Weasley's house, burrows in color. I have the silver one, but I haven't built it yet. The armor. We have, ooh, try not to lose the sword there. We have the Chinese armor, I believe. So I don't think I've done the Japanese. And then there's the two stands for the ships, the Black Pearl and the Golden Hind. That's it, Golden Hind. Queen Anne's, I think, is a icon next. They don't use that name anymore. Oh, I think I have that one. Oh, I've never done it. I need a moment to set this up. So I took a moment to set some of the models out that I pulled out and showed you. And I went and dug and found an old picture from probably over a year ago on my phone. It's probably a better one, because I wanted to try and set things up a little bit like they were before. I don't want to have to start from scratch. That's a lot of models organized, and I found a system that worked okay. The planes, I'm mostly going to go in this bottom corner down here, and that's just going to be a figured out all over again, because they're a pain. But putting stuff out, and I thought, well, now's a good time to put these risers. So I have this big box full of 3D printed risers, and you can kind of see some of them have marks where the models were, because they need dusting. I'm wearing house clothes, I don't care. I started off printing solid blocks. I 3D printed these. I designed them to be basically half the width of the shelves and a little less than half the depth, I guess. I can't exactly remember. So that, one, it would fit on my print space, and two, you know, I could just get models in the back risen up. And the ships are an example. I've got the two risers here, and I'll have ships on the back raised up and more stuff in front, so you can still mostly see it all. And I've got more risers to put out. I printed a lot. It was slow over time. When I first started, I was printing these solid pieces, and it took a lot of filament. And then I realized I don't have to fill in the bottom, and started printing them upside down so I didn't have to use support. If you know anything about 3D printing, you get it. So most of them are empty. Some of the older ones are solid, because that was stupid of me, but what are you going to do? And some of them have textured sides, and some of them have smoother sides, because in the print bed that I have a textured print bed, and I did a lot of them on that. But I have a few printed upside down on the smooth sheet, so it's a very smooth layer. Maybe not the prettiest to look at, And on this one you can see some imperfections in the bed that transferred over because I had printed a lot. You can actually see some of the line work from my stuff I sell on Etsy, but you know, they're sitting in the background with models on them, so they don't really stand out, and they work really well, and they're black, so you can actually miss that they're there. I've got 2 on that shelf, a bunch over here, and the interesting ones are the ones that I printed for the Legends models, as I made this basically like a grandstand in 2 halves. It did take a lot of filament, but it allows me to put several layers of Legends models all in that one shelf up there. It's a great space saving-ish idea, and you can mostly see them. And I haven't filled it up yet because I didn't make them all, but then they just continued, and most people don't care about them, and whatever. Maybe I'll sit down and do 1 or 2 just to kind of refresh myself, because why not? But yeah, I'm going to pause the video and put these shells back where they were based on the picture and keep going. I also found my little brush, dusting brush, in the box of risers, and I put the risers up as best I could compared to the picture. The picture's older, so whatever. But this is a cheap makeup brush from the Dollar Tree that's decent for brushing or dusting models. Decent, not fantastic, but it doesn't tend to catch the tabs on the models. So yeah, moving on. Another plastic tub with Deadpool with wobbly head. And then we have the bottom half of Bumblebee. This is a MU model. A fairly complex build. And the top half, which just kind of magnetically holds together. Neat. Knight, Black Knight. Another Peace Cool model. I think the only one I've successfully completed. Okay. This was a fun model. I really enjoyed this build. And I wanted to do more, and I got, I think, a Knight of Firmament and broke apart early on. And you can't get replacement parts with Peace Cool like you can Metal Earth. So, and it's been tabled for years. And then this clunky thing from Time 4 Machine, which never quite functioned properly. It's such a headache over this model. Just, that sort of, kind of runs. It was a very disappointing model, very frustrating. I've got a newer version. This took part in the Kickstarter that supposedly improved things, and I haven't put it together yet. And in my opinion, the Kickstarter was poorly handled. And yeah, not a big fan. Okay, there's always stuff going on. So I had an idea, and yeah, as you can see, I've added another older shelf to my computer, corner of my computer desk, so you probably won't see that on camera when, you know, I'm doing my videos in front of the camera. But it's more storage, and I gotta figure out what I'm gonna put over there. You know, the bottom shelf, I can already tell you, is stuff that I don't care that much about. I mean, I do, but I don't. I'm not particularly proud of it. But then we've got the space station on the top, which I am, so I don't know how it's all going to work out. Because part of me wants to try and decide what I want to show versus what I don't mind being off to the side, but that might require a ton of rearranging, and I don't know, very on the fence. But I'm going to keep going for now. This is going to be a long process and possibly several videos, but I have more models to put away, and I'm enjoying getting these boxes out of here and opening up the space so I'm not stepping over in between things. Loving that. Pardon the loud noise in the background. The hot water heater is going. People are getting up and taking showers. We have, is this the Duesenberg? No. There's two nice cars that they came out with. Oh shit. That sucked. Can't remember which one this is right now. Bad with names. There's the Duesenberg and there's something else. And this is one of them. And yeah, I'll put that. We have the Plain Jane 65 Mustang, an older Metal Earth model. Back when there was only one Mustang, only one. Was there only one Ford? Was this in a Model T at one time? That was silver. We have one of the Batwings. Vetted Dusty. And there's the dryer. Another Batwing. I feel like I should also get a paintbrush or a couple of paintbrushes for dusting models. They may help. Like little brushes. One of the bat signals. A little bit of hot glue on it from rebuilding these model boxes. 60s Batmobile. That's a cool ass car back in the day. I'm still fond of it. It was a heck of a build. And now I've got to break the box to get the other two models. Two more Batmobiles. The, I believe, 89 movie version, which I liked the 89 and a couple of movies after that. I enjoyed those Batman movies. And then they got a little too ridiculous. And then I can't remember which Batmobile this is. I think I've seen the movie ones. There's been so many Batmobiles over the years. One layer of castles, starting with the big one, Hogwarts Castle. A little bit of glue on it, hot glue from the packing. Not much to dust because this was a fairly new model and hadn't had much time sitting out. Should build some sort of system where I can slide the shells back and forth and have different things at different times. That's an interesting idea. The Iconics for Premium Big Ben. More glue. And dust. It's been a while since I've built this. Alexandria Lighthouse, I believe. Another interesting little model that I don't know really much about. And we have this glorious golden, it says right here, Cologne Cathedral. That was a heck of a build. Instructions were, it could be better. And that's it for that box. A little bit of a custom separator down there to keep the models in place, so they won't move around much during the move. We have a clearly labeled Mega R2, which I've used this box several times to transport the Mega R2 because, you know, it's a fun one to show off if I go anywhere. Ta-da! And no, currently I have no idea where you can get one of these. I got lucky. They pop up sometimes. I guess your best bet right now would be eBay, if there are even any out there. I know there are some retailers that will occasionally get them and secretly sell them because they're not technically available for the public. They're supposed to be display models for retailers, and retailers can kind of get in trouble for selling them. I don't think you get to see the Mega R2 very much because the camera doesn't go that high when I'm recording, but Mega R2 and the other R2s, C-3POs, and Millennium Falcons tended to be up top because they were bigger. stack of boxes on my roll around cart. All 3D printed boxes. You may have seen the videos of me packing these. A lot of stuff is custom cut and custom made to fit the models. Getting into the Star Wars, you have an A-Wing, I think. It's a Death Star. Silver AT-AT, one of the first models that I built, with its slightly broken back. Tabs. I didn't assemble it correctly, and the tabs didn't stay. They broke. So it sometimes pops open. The AT-AT from Disney. It has some color to it. It's very gray. Boba Fett's helmet. Just a wee bit of dust because it's not that old of a model. We need a moment to organize things. It's coming along. Batman models, space models, a little bit of Star Wars going on. It's coming. We have the somewhat difficult to find Finneco class Star Destroyer. Interesting little build. Not too complicated, but the instructions are a little one of the funky TIE fighters. I can't remember which one that is. But yeah. Zoom zoom. They have the Destroyer droid. That's an older one and very dusty. The Atat. Oh, excuse me, AT-ST Walker? Not the Atat. This was a challenging build. Surprisingly challenging. A little BO. No thank you. I believe that is the base for that funky TIE fighter. We have some Star Wars and some bridges. So let's get out the Golden Gate Bridge. You ever wonder why I'm off when I put stuff up? It's because there's the camera and there's the screen. I tend to aim for the wrong one by mistake. Because I can see what I'm doing on the screen. But it's slightly distracting. The London Bridge. So when I hold the camera up, I don't know, it's hard to explain. And then Brooklyn Bridge. I'm going to break this piece off. It's only slightly glued down. We have a TIE Fighter. Oh, this is the knockoff TIE Fighter I bought and did another updated video of, and then shortly after broke off a gun. So this one tends to not be displayed behind me. It's a less shiny kind of grade metal. It's okay, but I packed it anyway. And then we have the gate. I can't remember the proper name right now. It's escaping me. But it's gate. It's a famous gate. Sorry I can't remember the name. And then we have the Atat Walker, which I think might also be a knockoff that I bought cheap. I think I got some sort of settlement, class action lawsuit with PayPal, and just there was a settlement and everybody got a little bit of a refund, and I got some money in my PayPal and was like, hey, I'm gonna buy some cheap models to try them out and see what this is all about. And they are cheap. This was just some no name off of eBay. The metal is very dull. It's more tinny, something easier to break, and yeah, don't spend your money on this, kids. Buy the good stuff. But that'll probably not get displayed behind me because I'm not proud of it. But I use it as an opportunity to redo a couple of old models that the videos were just bad on. It is new. What can I say? It's getting hard to remember all this stuff, and the picture only does so much good. Let's unpack more models. We have boats. We have the oil or refinery, not refinery, oil rig thing. Afraid to even try to dust that one. We have the tanker. I believe this is the tanker that goes with it. Hot water heater's finally done. I swear I think the hot water heater is louder than the heater, central heat. Hell of a flame. The Titanic. A little bit of glue. We have a battleship. Missouri? Sorry if I got that wrong. My memory, my skill with remembering names is tragically bad. But, yay. Old battleship. We have, I cannot remember the name of this character. It was I think it was another one I got with my off of eBay with my refund. A neat little character, something weird. I think it's a cartoon with a little girl that dresses up in boxes as a different character. And we have, let's see, this is the fairy. Simple fairy. Not fairy as in magical creature with wings, but it's, you know, you put your car on it and go across water. Fairy. And we have another fairy. That one's more New York, but I don't think they call it that. This is Hong Kong fairy, or Star fairy. I guess there's several of them all painted the same or similar. This thing does a so-so job of dusting, but there's only so much you can do. But, yeah. And then we have a tank. Oh, and I get these mixed up too. Maybe a tiger tank? Can't remember. I get them mixed up. Tank. A couple more boxes and I think I'm going to stop for now and actually try to put the video together. Maybe spend some, excuse me, hiccups, spend some time with family. And doing one of the many other things I have to do now that I've bought a house. Star Wars. And have that ridiculous sand speeder from one of the movies. And then we have the, it's like a AT carrier or Atat carrier. I remember this one was shown with these pylons up, but then when it finally came out they were down. You have one of the Millennium Falcons that I have. I've built this several times. I'm pretty sure this is a Metal Earth version. Another Metal Earth version. Another speeder from Solo movie. Another speeder from Solo. I can't remember the character's name who belonged to the speeder. Yeah, let me go put this stuff on the shelf. One more box and I'm going to call it a trying to open the box ahead of time and it turned into a surprise. It's kind of stuck to the top and flip stuff everywhere, but we have the electric guitar, kind of Telecaster looking thing. We have the electric bass, a little bit dusty. We have the Cursed Beretta, possibly my most hated model. No secrets about that. We have a cardboard piece, not going on the shelf. Ah, we have the other bat signal. Cool, cool. We have tiny golf carts. There's a green one. There's a not green one, also known as silver. And there's a red one. These golf carts. We have some stands. We have a guitar and the Beretta. We have a building. I believe that's the Kennedy Center. No camera. Bigfoot, or you know, a monster truck of some sort. I don't think that's Bigfoot, it's something else. And the original Metal Earth Super Simple Model T. So I'm gonna dust these off and put them on the shelf and clean up these boxes. The room is opening up. I'm thrilled about that. Sit down and try to make a video to put out today. So I'm going to stop there for tonight, but I've gotten some of the stuff set up. Tilt the camera down and see if we can't catch the bottom. It's, you know, not quite working as well as I'd hoped, but here we are. So I've gotten a lot of things set up so far, but there's a lot more to go. You see, I have quite a bit of space, but I wanted to do this video, get back into the swing of things a little bit. It's not a build video, but it's something. It is kind of, I'm rebuilding my studio. Well, one of the questions I get asked semi-frequently is, can you go over your models? Can you review your models and stuff that you built? And I haven't done that in a while. This is a perfect opportunity, so I'm kind of, as I'm rebuilding, showing you what I have and maybe speaking on a little bit, but it's sort of a review, sort of setting it back up. But yeah, so there's like, what, 30 some minutes worth of me setting this much up and more to come. So I can see more of this in the future. The more of this I do, the more boxes get out of the way, the more I'm actually able to set things up. Because as it stands now, I can't even set up my build table yet. I was kind of hoping to go with something new, but I've got my trusty white table over here, and I may end up continuing to use that. But yeah, so Happy New Year's. You might be seeing this, you know, if you're in another country, it might already be the second day of New Year by the time you see this, because it's already 8 o'clock at night, and I haven't even rendered it. But I was trying to get this up on New Year's. I wanted to try and get it up around Christmas, but it didn't work out. I've got a lot going on. Just bought a house. There's so much to do. I'm kind of loving it. But there's so many things I want to do to this house and change and fix up and rearrange and modify. And, you know, like the lighting over in this area is kind of, and it's a little put together now. This is one of my studio backdrop lights, but I got to organize it. But the overhead lighting is just kind of not right, and I want to redo it. I've got new lights. I want to change around a couple of the outlets and tie them together, and yeah, there's a bunch of stuff to do. I have no end of things to do, and it's part of what's keeping me busy, and I apologize. But hello everyone, hope you enjoyed this. Plan on making more and eventually work my way back to actually building again. One last note, I haven't done any news videos for a while. Obviously, I did kind of briefly look around to see what I've missed. I've missed a fair amount. Not as much from Metal Earth as I would have thought. There's been a couple of sneak peeks in their newsletter. One of some color Transformers models, which may have some more detail. Hopefully they've reworked it. Plus, there were some shadows that weren't filled in of models that we haven't gotten yet. So, some hope there. There was a preview hinting once again at Lord of the Rings models. Last time there was a hint and a preview and nobody knew anything, and I even remember hearing somebody being in the company being frustrated that that was put out because they didn't really have any plans, but now apparently they do. So that's good news. But we've got the mail truck, which the LLV, the Long Life Vehicle mail truck that's come out. I think I mentioned something about that in a previous video. We've got the Blue Angels FA-18 Super Hornet. I don't think I've talked about that. And then one of the things that's sitting in the coming soon is the Monitor and the Merrimack, which I was fascinated with when I was taking high school history. And I did a report on the Monitor and Merrimack, so I'm really excited about that. That's an interesting choice for them. And I'm excited to see what's going to come of it. Everything else that's in the new stuff, I think I've talked about at some point. I want to say even the Hogwarts Express with track, I think there was some talk about that, and the in-color burrows. They were exclusive models, and now they're not so exclusive anymore. You can't just get them anywhere, so that's nice that they're out. I think we've talked about that. I looked at P-School's website, and there was a lot of craziness going on there. A lot of really fancy models that I hadn't talked about, and a lot of craziness going on with the whole metal brick thing. MU apparently has redone their website. I'm not even sure what's going on there, but I saw a lot of models I wasn't familiar with. Crazy Toys seem to have a lot of stuff that I'm not familiar with, so I've got a lot of catching up to do. But yeah, there's some new things going on, and I've missed it, and I'm sorry. It's not a big surprise that moving has taken up a lot of my time, taking up more than I thought it would, but what are you going to do? Anyway, I'll quit rambling on. The video's long enough. Thank you for watching, and keep on keeping on.